Good morning, everyone. It is January 3rd and time to start the day. Hey, everybody. So today is January 3rd, the official day 2. I don't usually start my January stuff until January 2nd because I feel like that is very unfair to New Year's Eve to have to worry about starting everything on the 1st. I just don't like to give myself that kind of start. Anyway, it was a good day. Today was a day where I worked from home, and that was wonderful. I don't really have too much to say about it. No, that's not true. I probably have a lot to say about it. I feel very much more together right now, partly because I was able to put a lot of things in place that I needed to. I had a very productive day. There's a proposal that I've been sitting with for ages, and yesterday I brought that into the tapping that I was doing, and today the stuff that had been sort of stopping me from working didn't feel like it was necessarily in the way, and that was really refreshing. I want to give that more credit than just the fact that I sat down to write, because I've done that numerous times and not done anything on it. So I do feel like what I'm doing right now is working, at least in the sense of being productive. So I know it's still early, but I did want to mention that before I get into too much or forget things. So now that I've mentioned that, back to the start of the day. Woke up this morning. We did yoga, yoga with Adrian's. Today was truth. Yesterday, I believe, was motive. And today was truth. I'll link the specific video below. I'm going to link the basic general stuff that I'm talking about below, but each day I'm going to make sure to link the actual video that I've done. So today was truth. It was a little over 30 minutes, and it was great. I felt refreshed. I felt good. It set a nice tone for the day. All the things yoga is supposed to do, it did. It made me realize that I actually do want to do yoga, not just the idea of wanting to do yoga. I'm starting to feel some of those benefits, that it's really easy to think doing it doesn't make that much of a difference. It's the mindset, but actually doing yoga does make a difference. I know that's an obvious thing, but it's easy to talk myself into thinking that thinking about doing yoga and taking a minute to breathe is the same as actually doing a practice. And it's not. Which I know. And I know that even when I'm talking myself out of doing it. But so far, so good. We've downloaded tomorrow's video. Today we noticed that the connection we had, it wasn't so great. It paused every once in a while and was a little skippy at times, which was interesting because things don't really skip anymore since they're digital. I kind of credit that probably to the fact that her site is so busy right now. So we're members of her app, and so we were able to download tomorrow's video tonight. If you're members of the app, you get everything a day ahead of time. I should probably put that out there. And I joined Kula, which is her online community that they started. You put an application in, you put your name, your email, and then a brief bit about your practice and what made you want to be a part of the community. And so I put my application in a couple days ago, and then I got accepted today, which was pretty cool. There's a monitor who goes through everything and reads what you're into, and then when you get in the app, it has like groups that they've put you in, not groups that you're in, but tags for posts so that you're already set up with things that they think you might be interested in based on what you tell them about what you enjoy. So that was great. I got a little active on that. On a post a woman had, I had a question about. She answered it. We went back and forth a little bit. That was great. It felt good to connect. One of my favorite things about Yoga with Adriene is the connection that she has with community, and so that was really nice. I highly recommend buying into that. Kula is free. That the community part that I'm talking about right now is free. But I know that there was somebody who posted earlier today about the fact that they have to wait till the next day. They're a day behind because they're on the other side of the world, and because of the time changes and things, they don't get the videos until the next day. So if by chance anyone from another country is watching this video, one way to avoid that is to belong to the Yoga with Adriene Find What Feels Good app, and then you can get those videos a day ahead of time. That's her thing, Find What Feels Good. Just a heads up, if you are not yet looking into her but you're thinking about it, she is very open in the sense of you do cat-cow, but she also invites you to move to the side instead of just on a straight linear path. And she invites you to do what your body is asking for. That's the find what feels good for you. So she's more of a guide for the moment, but she does give direction throughout the entire practice. I don't want to say too much about it, but she's amazing. I love her. And so it's part of why we do these every year. I think this is our 3rd year now. So yoga was good. Woke up for yoga. Enjoyed the practice. And then today I stayed home and did work on my proposal, and I don't have much. I did tapping as well. Again today. Today's was more on the end result of something that you want, instead of clearing anything out. It's about having a goal in mind and choosing to want that goal, and choosing to be okay with wanting that goal, and choosing to be okay if you have to do things that you don't like doing in order to get the goal and the end result, which was really interesting because I don't think of things from that perspective too often. I'm pretty goal-oriented, but it's not so much about the detail around it, and I always just kind of go with the flow as far as if I want something and I'm going for it. Of course you do the things you don't want to do. You just have to. But it was interesting, like, thinking about making it a choice, like choosing to do the things you don't like to do. If it will get you closer to the goal, makes it feel less like something I have to do and more like something I'm choosing to do. Because yeah, I mean, if I could choose to only do things that I wanted to do, that would be great. But then you don't get to the things further down the road, which is something we're sort of instilled with as kids and growing up. But I don't know, some new stuff came up for me during that session. And this is a tapping that I will be able to link below because I know exactly where I had it and it's still on my computer. So I will make sure to link below the tapping session that I did today. And that way you'll have that. So you'll have the yoga I did and the tapping I did. And yeah, right now I'm just feeling like the day went well. It's not too late. Right after this, I'll be able to wrap up my vlog. And one thing I do want to mention, because I'm very excited about this. So I got a yoga trapeze for Christmas, which it's not up. Well, I mean, it's up. It's like hanging. Actually, I'll kind of just do this for a second. So it's this thing right there. It's just kind of hanging on the side right now. But what I will do is I will link a photo, like an online photo, probably there if I can figure out how to do that, like to add a photo so you can see like what it is. But basically, I'll put one on from the internet because it's going to look way more like what the actual item is than my photos will. But basically, it's a yoga trapeze. It's a swing. It's a little hammock that hangs, and you can do inversions with it. You can do yoga poses with it. You can use it in different ways to work out different muscles. And I do this thing called air yoga occasionally, which I haven't done in a really long time and I miss. But when I do go in, it uses your core and your muscles in such a way that if you're not doing their stuff, every time I go in, I feel like I'm almost back at square one. Like my muscles and core don't work together the way they need to in order to do the cool stuff that I want to be able to do there. And so for Christmas, I got this yoga trapeze. And so I've been able to start doing more of those workouts that I remember them doing and going online and like getting some of the stuff about bending and stretching and back bends and inversions and ways to adjust. Like you do plank, but your feet are up in the swing. So your feet are up in the air while your arms are on the ground, and then you kind of do the push-ups. Or with air yoga, they don't have the bars on the side, but yoga trapeze has handlebars. And so I can go on my back and then actually do like pull-ups where I'm pulling myself up from the ground to start to build that strength up. Because with the trapeze, you have to use your whole body and your strength to get yourself up a lot of the time. It's really cool. I started thinking about it because the camp I work with in the summer has a circus element. And so they have silks, which I tried out and was terrible at. But it was really fun. It was neat. And they helped us get into poses so that we could take like pictures and stuff like that. But I earned a very strong appreciation for people who do silks. And so George is back. He wanted to say hi. And so when I went to air yoga, started thinking like, oh, okay, this is kind of like, oh, where did he go? Sorry. I'm going to pull him up here. George, say hi. Oh. And so then they had air yoga, and I thought, oh, if I do air yoga, I'll be able to get into the silk stuff more. And then when I go back in the summer, I can do more of the challenging things. And it's really hard. It's also not in my budget. So the yoga trapeze is something that you can actually try it out for $1 for the first 30 days. And then I would have to look it up or look into the actual financials about it. But it's a lot more affordable than I had expected it to be. Like, I'm looking at these things like, oh, that's not something I could do, or oh my gosh, that's like a huge investment. And I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not something it's not like buying a car. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I got really into it. I'm really excited about it. And I haven't been able to go back to Air Fit since I got back from camp after the summer. Partly just because of motivation, really. Because I feel like I'm starting back at square one, and I don't want to go in there and pay for the class and get excited about it and then fall off again. And so now I'm excited because I've got this thing that I've been working with over the past couple days whenever I kind of get a break. And I can already feel that it's starting to build the muscle that I need where I need it and build the connection between, which is really the big thing, is not building the muscle, but building the connection between the muscle and the core. I think is what I've noticed is the big deal as far as using the inversions, like the different things that you do with the inversions, but also like, I mean, you're in the air, and so it's not like you're holding onto the ground, like you're in this fabric, and so it's challenging, but it's really fun. Highly recommend it. So far, so good. Eventually, I'll maybe get into a place where I can take some pictures and show you what they look like. But right now, I'm going to secretly geek out in my apartment and not tell anybody about it phase. Which I like because, I don't know. I'm excited about it. And I forgot to mention it in the past couple of vlogs. So I will also put information for yoga trapeze down below. But yeah, I'm having a blast with it. And what else? I think that's about it. If I forgot anything, maybe I'll add it in. Yesterday I said I was going to talk about Starbucks. So around the holidays, Starbucks sells these mugs, and you can go in every day and get free coffee. And so yesterday, the picture that I had yesterday was my first free coffee from Starbucks for the month of January that I went and got. And I can do that every day for the month of January. I can just go into Starbucks with an empty mug and say, I would like a cup of coffee. And they fill it up and they say, there you go. I know it also works for tea. I assume it works for iced coffee and iced tea, but I know it works for hot coffee and hot tea. I don't know. It's really cold, so it's hard for me to get in the mood for iced anything. I do enjoy iced tea, but if I'm out at a Starbucks, I'm probably freezing in the month of January in Chicago. So hot is where I gravitate toward. But I get excited because it's like getting into rehearsals and things. A lot of times I'll go and, in the morning you want your coffee and then going to rehearsal, but then after you want tea, and so it's nice. And it's one more thing on it that I think is great. When you do get tea, you get grande, which is their medium, which, but then you get 2 tea bags, and so, because that's what they do with that size. So you let it steep, and then I just usually get like a little cup on the side. I let it steep, and then I put it in the cup, and then I have another tea when I get home, or the next day, or whatever, and I don't know, I really like their tea. It's awesome. Especially last year with Whole30, I couldn't do all the coffee. You can have coffee on Whole30, but you can't do any lattes, and you can't do any like mixing, or I couldn't put any of the syrups in. Like the other day I went and I got a coffee and had them put like one of those cinnamon dolce syrup pumps in, and it was great. But I wouldn't have been able to do that in Whole30. So last year I used it for tea, and that's where I discovered all of the teas that Starbucks had that I didn't know they had. And so anyway, if you have a mug, let me know. Let me know what your favorite thing to get for free from Starbucks in your mug is. If you don't have one, I don't know if they're selling them anymore. I would imagine probably they are. It would make sense for them to keep selling them now because you've missed a couple of days, so they'd kind of be on the good side of that. But if not, I believe they do this every year. This is our second year doing it, so my family and I all take like pictures and text, and we're like, oh my god, I just went to the Starbucks and got coffee, and oh my god, here's me with my first free coffee. And yeah, so anyway, we're that family. That's it. That is it for the day. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for listening. Let me know how your January is going. It's January 3rd. I'm curious to hear, well, by the time this posts up, it'll be the 4th. If you have a resolution that you're sticking to or not sticking to, or if something's been coming up for you, or if anything that I'm doing is something you're curious about, yeah, let me know. Otherwise, hope you're having a great day, and I will talk at you again tomorrow. Good night.